Essay on Information Revolution. Points to develop. 01. Major revolutions of civilization: agricultural, industrial, and now information. 02. How the agricultural and industrial revolutions affected human life. 03. Characteristics of the information revolution. 04. Rapid changes' effect on society and ways of thinking, not to the liking of everybody. 05. Challenges of the information revolution. 06. Effect on economy, political nationalism, world community. 07. Controlling flow of information virtually impossible. Human beings have to learn to deal with the revolution in a mature, rational manner. The major revolutions that have marked the march of civilization before the 20th century are the agricultural revolution and the industrial revolution. Towards the end of the 20th century, came the most revolutionary of revolutions, the information revolution. The agricultural revolution changed human life from nomads. Human beings turned to living in settlements. The need to defend territory was felt. Feudalism with its forts and castles evolved. It was the base for the growth of trade and commerce, cities and city-states. Power stemmed from the population, landmass and natural resources with which countries were endowed. The Industrial Revolution came in the wake of scientific and technological breakthroughs. The strength of brute force was replaced by technological know-how and quality. Industrially advanced countries created rules to suit themselves, and conquest for getting natural resources was legitimized. In the wake of the information revolution comes the network society. It has opened new horizons, and tests to the limit the ability of political and economic leaders to manage the repercussions of the changes. And what change saw suddenly? Those great walls and formidable borders and barriers seem ridiculously meaningless. The internet leaps borders with impunity. A click at your mouse and the material held on a computer in Indonesia gives way to material compiled in Sweden. If Indonesia has different rules of decency or probity from the Swedes, nothing much can be done. Furthermore, in the network society, the line demarcating public from private communication simply fades away. All this appears reprehensible to most of us, for change, and that too rapid change, is not easily accepted by all. Easy, quick and wide access to information in combination with the ease of communication between individuals interested in the same fields. The rapid advance in and simplification of many technologies have all led to the empowerment of the individual. While this is seen as a positive step by some, there are others who anxiously point out the negative aspects. Crime has become easier. Sitting in their rooms, persons operating their computers have been able to spirit away billions of dollars from bank accounts. Easy access to common chemicals and readily available knowledge have enabled men to create explosive devices which have caused frightful damage to life and property. The challenges posed by the information revolution are serious. Governments are being thrown into disarray as they do not know how to regulate or control the free flow of information that transcends national boundaries. That is only too good, say the liberalists, who feel that market forces will ultimately put in place the checks required, and government's role in everything will decline, and rightly so. It is not so simple, however. Some key issues certainly demand attention. Without decisive policies in the area of education and training, the gap between the no's and no riots is found to increase. The network society could be much less fair, much less socially cohesive, than what existed so far. individuals must be trained to keep up with technological changes and policies directed to this, and must emanate from government and implemented with the cooperation of the private corporate sector. The information revolution and the emergence of the network society are at the root of the lightning speed at which capital flows take place around the world. A permanent pressure is thus built up to attract investment by providing an environment most conducive for it. In the prevailing conditions, capital markets are seen as dictating the course of events, practically forcing the hands of policymakers. Today, manufacturing capitalism is being overtaken by financial capitalism. Already the idea is gaining currency that these changes have benefited the shareholders and financiers, while the workers were left to bear the costs. Tackling such issues is made more difficult with the weakening of political power. Privileged information was until recently a classic instrument of power with governments. With the beginning of an era of instantaneous and multi-source communication, this power has suddenly slipped out of the grasp of governments. They are called upon to act and react at a pace for which their structures and modes of decision-making are, in most cases, unprepared. It is worth repeating here that a flippant dismissal of government as an anachronism will not do. Government's role remains crucial to help balance conflicting interests and ensure that the most vulnerable sections of society get protection and necessary attention. Governments will still need to cope with threats to security. Indeed, new forms of security systems will have to be devised to cope with terrorists, for instance, who could safely operate from beyond a national boundary and escape detection. True, out of such a situation may grow a lasting and genuine cooperation among nations working for mutual interest. World organizations may have to be restructured to reflect the new realities. The patriotism of the 19th century and the proud assertion of my country, right or wrong, are archaic, even slightly ridiculous in the present circumstances. A new consciousness of a world community has to develop on all fronts. It is true that, in many cases, existing laws can be used to regulate the Internet. In others, it is quite possible that solutions will emerge from usage. While the Internet may make it easier to break copyright laws, it also makes it possible to find and police the instances of abuse. Already there are service providers who have devices to protect children from viewing offensive material. Parents could choose such sources for their Internet access. Again, dubious businesses may be easier to establish on the Internet, but the readily available information makes it easier for consumers to investigate such businesses. Of course, it means an empowerment of the citizen to an extent hitherto unheard of. However, in the process, individuals may grow more responsible, may be able to take better and informed decisions, and use the freedom available in a mature manner. Like, comment, share and subscribe my channel English Essay Online (EO).